Hey guys, got a insane custom tenor Steve Grimes instrument. Um, and even insane is kind of an understatement because this red koa is quite literally out of this world. I mean, I'm just gonna jump right into it because I'm excited to talk about this and hold it, be able to play it for you folks. Check out this red koa here on the top. Has so much of the big curls of on it, the different directions that the grain pattern is moving up into the instrument. It's very flowy. Has the dark curls and or sorry the dark streaks into the instrument, the orange, the lighter colors. The only thing really it's missing is I guess the sapwood, but you just look at this and it's just look how red this is. Like this just it's so beautiful. And then look like nervously laughing because it's like it's just so crazy. Or, but yeah, the book matching is amazing on this. You can see how it comes up here, and then you can see the matchingness right here. And then again, the nice curls, big curls, going all the way into the center of the instrument. The nice orange, the darker streaks, and there's just so many different colors. Absolutely love koa not only for its tonal properties and how it resonates with ukuleles, but again, you can just spend a whole lifetime of just looking at different types of koa and just be like, you just there's just no end in terms of how nice kind of koa you can find out there in the world. But man, this is just breathtaking, really. And I've seen a lot of different koas, a lot of different koa custom instruments, and man, this is definitely right there at the top. This is I want something like this. This is amazing. I do want to point out that this is again Steve Ribe's custom, but the number of this is number 975, and that's not just a random number he assigns to his instruments. This is his 975th instrument that he's created, 975th masterful piece that he's created. For those of you who don't know, Steve Grimes is a professional musician as well as a master luthier, residing on my home island, the island of Maui. Maui no Ko'oi is the best island of the chain, even though I live on Oahu. But he spent 50 plus years building instruments. That is very respectable. So, of course, when I look into the instrument and it says 975, it's just numbers. But when you really wrap your head around it, it's like this Steve has built this one and this one. He's probably like on 1100, 1200 at this point. But it's just like 975 instruments to get to this point. And it's just quite literally just breathtaking. Now, going more into the instrument, this is quite rare. In my opinion, I played many of Steve's instruments in the past here at Ukulele Friend and at other places, but it's very rare to go ahead and see a full body shell inlay. Now, what does that mean? It means that for Steve's instruments, it's very rare for him to go all out and not only use crazy koa like this, but also having that power abalone shell that wraps not only around the body, not only having a double rosette of that palo abalone shell with the rosewood in the center, but it wraps around the fretboard itself on the outside, on the perimeter of the fretboard. And not only that, it actually wraps around the headstock too. Now, there's definitely other instrument and builders that do this same thing as well. But with Steve's instruments, he usually kind of keeps it more, and not literally, but more on the simple side where he doesn't kind of do these kind of crazy things. He more uses like really beautiful woods, but he doesn't typically go down this route of I'm gonna just throw shell as much as I can on my instruments. So when you do see something like this, and I've played many Grimes, and it's very rare to get to see this. It's just like, whoa, it's pretty special. Again, and you're pairing it with this really beautiful, red, dark red, brown Hawaiian curly koa. I just can't really emphasize enough that this is quite the phenomenal instrument from Steve. You even have power abalone on the bridge right here with more of that red Hawaiian koa right here. It's just real beautiful stuff. So nothing on the fretboard, Macassar ebony on the bridge fretboard as well as the headstock. Rosewood binding on the top and the back with black and white purfling that wraps all around the instrument, perimeter of the instrument, here on the sides, and then even around the palo abalone shell itself, and even around the palo abalone shell all around the body, just like that. Here on the sides is also wrapped with the rosewood binding for the fretboard, but you do have your fret markers here on fret 3, 5, 7, 10, 12, and 15 down here. Very, very clean. It has a radius fretboard. And one of the things that I really love about Grimes is that it's arguably one of the easiest instruments to play just because of how he sets it up. The action on Grimes is extremely low. Now, you could argue this could be a negative thing. This is a positive thing. I'm going to be on that side of the spectrum. This is an absolutely positive thing, especially for someone like me. I'm a light player. I don't really dig into my instruments. But when you have a smaller or a lower action on the instrument, it means the strings are closer to the fretboard or the fret wires. Of course, you can run into some danger. If it's too low, then you run the risk of buzzing and stuff. But because Steve's been doing this forever, he sets his instruments up in a way where it's pretty much as low as you can get it, but it's not buzzing. It's not going to buzz. You can play all these instruments or all these, crazy chords, and then it just does the job. So when I'm playing not only the radius fretboard, and his neck is more on the traditional side, it's not on the chunky side, it's not on the thin side. It's pretty much in line with what most ukuleles kind of follow. You literally can make the joke that you just kind of look at it and you can make a bar chord. I'm barely pressing on it at all, and I can still make a bar chord. So in terms of playing stamina, for me, like, it's, not uncommon for me to gig for 3 hours. If I'm playing an instrument like this, I can go 3 more hours because it's one of those instruments that you don't have to really press that hard to be able to get good sound, clean sound on this instrument. So I love that this instrument's set up on the lower end. So you can enjoy hours of playing on this instrument. And then to wrap up with this instrument, again, Macassar ebony on the top, or ebony on the top with the Grimes logo on in the mother of pearl. And then we have grand tuners here, black and gold grand tuners. Very smooth and very nice to have. It's not too common to have grand tuners. Usually Gotols or Waverleys are kind of the way to go. But grand tuners is nice. Kamaka also uses grand tuners for the instrument. So nice to see that on this Grimes instrument. And one last thing before I go into sound, I would say that this is a musician's instrument. Now, what does that mean? For me and a lot of ukulele players, and I don't want to speak on behalf of other professional ukulele players, but usually outside of maybe missing Mika, Kane as my initials here, like on the 12th fret, this is pretty much what a lot of musicians like in terms of there's no, nothing distracting on the fretboard. It's like a clean fretboard. Usually we'll have like our initials or something on it, but a lot of us musicians really love that powwow balloon shell when it's wrapped around the whole body, especially like if we can even get it on the fretboard and headstock. But there's nothing really else going on in terms of like, oh, there's a flower here, or there's, like a inlay all over the fretboard. It can be a little distracting, or there's nothing extra in terms of just going for sound and playability. This instrument has all the right aspects in terms of it like being blingy but also not distracting at the same time. So I call it like a musician's instrument. It's beautiful as it can get without it being too much. You're like, oh, like that's like artwork, I'm gonna hang it on the wall and like, wow. But you can grab this and play it and there's nothing distracting about it other than the wood. I mean, the wood's pretty mesmerizing, but just keep your eyes on the fretboard and you'll be okay. So getting into the sound or the tone of Grimes, I do notice that Grimes tends to build his instruments more on the warmer side. So for someone like me, that can be very advantageous because I play with my fingernails, I do my nails and all that kind of stuff. So I can dig in a little more and I can get more of that clarity, if I really dig into the instrument. So this becomes a very well-balanced and very rounded kind of sound instrument. You're not going to get the most clarity like on the A string. He uses the GHS strings, I believe, so it's not like a fluorocarbon set. You're going to get more of a warmer kind of quality with that. With my nails, I can dig in a little more, but you're definitely going to get more of that warmer resonance with these instruments. So if you're like strumming on this instrument, it sounds really good because you get this nice warmer type of sound that can really mesh well with people's singing voices. If you're a fingerstyle player and you play with nails, you're going to get a very well balanced sound. If you're playing acoustically, it might sound more or skew more on the warmer end. However, when you plug it in, this instrument's ready to go, and to plug in to a studio or for a gig, usually, and a lot of folks can agree who gig, when you plug into a sound system, it really pushes the trebles when you play in, especially not so high quality speakers and soundboards. It really pushes the treble up. So if you have a warm instrument like this, it actually sounds even more balanced when you plug it in, because this warmer instrument accounts for, when you're playing like the really bright sound systems out there when you go into the gigging world. But so if you notice on the acoustic end, it does have that nice, more warmer sound. And depending on how hard I can dig into it, I can still get more of the clarity, but this instrument definitely skews more on the warmer end. And I love how clean this instrument is. That E string is very warm. Again, yeah. The notes all really meld really well together. Yeah, really nice, clean. Again, very rounded because it's skewed more to the warmer end. Of course, you can go ahead and put a fluorocarbon set and you can brighten up the strings, but this is more like how it's normally set up with the GHS strings, so you're gonna get that more warmer traditional sound. All right, here we go. So here's some fingerstyle and then some strumming on this instrument. All right, and here's some strumming on this wonderful instrument. Here we go.